you want me to spell my name?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't finish school. No. All right. My name's Kylie Cassidy.
So there's this bullshit. Where do you find that?
I'm a Wiradjuri woman from Central West New South Wales, but I've grown up here on Darkinyoung country. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the Glen for Women, where we are today.
Kayla, you're on camera.
Many people that would know the Glen would know the history behind the Glen and Uncle Cyril Hennessy, who started the Glen. Many years ago in the 90s, the Glen began out of money from black deaths in custody. So we've always had a mission or an aim to close the gap in some small way in keeping people out of custody as best we can. And it's no different over here. Auntie Coral Hennessy, she was our chairperson for many years, and she's Uncle Cyril's sister. And she really, I guess, lit the flame to start the fight for getting the Glen for Women.
I don't even know what it is. What is it, Beck?
It's a beef and bean casserole.
Beef and bean casserole.
When we found this property, it was just an old cattle farm and it had not been operating for some time. We applied for a DA, and when we got the DA approval, unfortunately Auntie Coral lost her daughter to addiction, and she was hopeful that her daughter might be one of the first clients of the Glen for Women. We continued on and we were able to build a 20-bed facility on site with a fully equipped kitchen, big enough to do cooking classes in for up to 10 ladies at a time, a large dining area, multi-purpose room with all our AV equipment. We can Zoom in meetings and different stakeholder sessions. We can also host them on site here. We've got our yarning circle out the back, much like the men's centre. That's become the heart of the property, and a lot of tough conversations take place around that fire. We've got a little art studio space and a library underway, and then our consultation and medical rooms where the doctor and nurse does outreach clinic each week. And then the main house that was originally here on the building is our admin space. And then down the back of the property, we've got a fully equipped gym and recreation room for the ladies to use for their health and fitness, and also a bit of fun in the spare time.
It's a bit of tension out.
Nurturing the garden. Nurturing the garden nurtures my soul.
Part of the program, we have a pretty jam-packed routine, weekly routine, and 3 days out of that routine is our purposeful life skills. All of that includes the house and home maintenance, yard maintenance, learning how to use ride-on mowers, the blowers, whippersnippers, lawnmowers. We don't employ anyone to come out and do those things for us. The ladies caretake the home themselves. We also offer one-to-one therapy sessions with psychologists, alcohol and drug counsellors, grief and trauma counsellors, and we have stakeholders on site such as the Central Coast Legal Service, Central Coast Family Support, Catholic Care, and they offer legal advocacy and support, Triple P parenting program, and also domestic and family violence education. And it all goes into forming a client journey and giving them the education and the tools that they need to then take back out into community.
I've been here since 19th of December, and I realised that it is important to work on my issues, and I have a lot of those, and trust issues and core issues that have always led me to a life of addiction, to block out pain and to mask and cope with my problems. And I've realised how vitally important it is to work with a therapist and to get to the core issues that you face, because it can be life-changing.
We really didn't know what we were in for until we were here, or what it was going to be like. We're so used to working with our men for the last 28 years. But just to watch the difference in the ladies' stories has been phenomenal, and some of the things that stick out to me is watching women for the first time who have never held a job in their life to then step into employment and be proud to go to work, and just, you know, they're not just mum anymore, or auntie or sister, or that, you know, family role. They're now knowing who they are as a person and what they want in life, and gaining those employment outcomes, saving money, you know, and then transitioning out, getting their own home, and, you know, getting their car and licence. All those things has been really inspiring, and just, I don't know, it's humbling to be a part of that. It's stuff that everyday people take for granted, but those things are actually huge for some people. And to just watch the enlightenment in someone to tick one goal off and then build to the next goal has been amazing.
Great, it's fun.
It's amazing. So yeah, they're probably the standout things, watching our ladies just reach their goals. Like, they're here for the drug and alcohol addiction, but I'm proud to say that that's not what the Glen's about. We really just work on every aspect of a person's life, and holistically, whatever meets their needs and whatever's lacking in their life, we try to help support that.
Oh shit, I didn't have it on.
Are you serious?
So my name's Beck, and I'm from the Wholesome Collective. So I come into the Glens, both Glens, once a week, and we do some nutrition education and a cooking class. Basically, we have a cookbook, and all the recipes are from the book, and the girls can take the book later on. So all the recipes, we're getting back to eating from the 5 food groups, having regular meals. A lot of people in addiction aren't eating regular meals, so it's just about regular meals, eating on a budget. So those things are really important at the moment.
I've been here for about volunteering for about 8 months. So I just come out one day a week. And I'm in recovery myself. I've been in recovery for 7 years.
So I could never have given up marijuana. I always thought, because it was a plant, grew in the ground, and there was nothing wrong with it. But it started to take hold of my life every morning till night. So yeah, it really had hold of me. Like, I've been smoking 30 years.
I came here because I'm an alcoholic and a cannabis user. I've been to rehab about 15 years ago because I was an ice addict. Kicked that to the curb, and now I'm an alcoholic because I thought that was legal, and, you know.
To soften my heart and to let, like, my heart speak for itself and not be, like, masked and shadowed and cut off from my true person in my heart, and
allow love back in.
Yeah.
Because if we're cut off all the time, it's what I found. I would push people away and push people away, and then I couldn't give love. I wasn't getting love, and then I just became an isolated, lonely being. And then the alcohol became my friend.
I lived on the streets when I was 12, down in Newcastle in the old wool sheds there. And it was a church team that actually found me squatting in the old wool sheds, and took me in and put me in a refuge. And I think I only stayed there about 2 weeks maybe, and was so scared of the God thing, and you know, didn't understand any of that at the time. And I took off, and in taking off there, started my journey in a really, really destructive pattern for my life.
It only took 2 hours for somebody to know that I was in town and asking me if I had any drugs, like through Facebook Messenger, and I thought I'd got rid of all those contacts.
I had my first shot at, I think I was 13, which was, I think I was trying to block out, you know what I mean, my dad dying. But then basically, you know what I mean, I could see my brothers needed somebody. So I dropped out of school. Didn't even make it to, maybe 3 weeks into school, into year 7. Dropped out, started selling drugs at the age of 13, you know, to support for my family, which was pretty sad.
What brought me here was a lot of trauma, grief and loss that I've been through in my life. Sexually abused as a child. And then I met a man that thought that can save me from the little country life of Gilgandra, and it turned out to be a very violent relationship that I stayed in for 14 years, which caused me to lose 5 of my children through DCJ. And then that kind of made me go spiral back out of control again and not want to have to deal with that. So I dealt with it the only way I knew how, and that was to cover it up with drugs.
Like, you know, we all feel, you know, like this is where we're meant to be. And I just, like I said, thank my lucky stars every day that I was accepted into this place. And when I drove through the gates, it was like, yep, I'm home.
Just going through Woolworths because it's crap and you hate it. But if you actually slow down, I am very grateful to be a volunteer here. I was invited by a friend who works here to come and do a yarning circle. And for me, it was the icing on the cake of my addiction journey. To come full circle, to be able to share what helped me get through my pain and trauma and anguish and drinking regularly, to create some hope and inspiration that joy can be found again.
I never had many friends in the end because that's what marijuana does here. It keeps you in like this little sort of just a hole and you just can't get out of it. It's just a horrible feeling, and I never thought I could do it, like live in a community type situation, but I've done it pretty well and I'm still here, so.
On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, for about 2 hours, we have Purpose for Life skills, and that just kind of teaches us different activities like mowing the lawn. Some of us have never done that. We do cooking, we do deep cleaning of the house. It can be anything from, we had goats once, so that was a chore. Doing fencing, lots of different things that some of us have never done before, and we learn skills like that, and so we get our home nice and clean. And
I've got 3 children. I've got 1 more on the way. I'm looking at the positive side. I know where I've done wrong. I know where I can be in life. Like, I've always had this dream about me walking around in hills with a big muscly man, like, you know what I mean? Just having that job and walking into a nice modern home, you know, like nice tiles, whatnot, you know what I mean? Like a little mansion in my head. But in saying that, like, I know I can achieve that, but the thing is that I need to, you know, put my head to it. I need to actually put in the work. It's hard to say that, then do it, but you know what I mean? Regardless of what my head's telling me, I'm just going to keep pushing and keep going. That's where I kind of feel, yeah.
I'm not here just because I use drugs. I'm here because I've dealt with a lot of stuff that I didn't want to feel. So I did the only way I knew how, and that was to cover it up. And the only way I could cover it up was to use drugs. And by doing that, it made me lose myself. And like it gave me confidence while I was using drugs, but it also made me lose myself. Now that I'm not on drugs, I've lost my confidence, but I've found myself. So, and now I'm a better version of myself that I've ever been, that now I can be the role model that my kids need in their life when they're ready to have me back in their life.
I went from sort of just being a young juvenile to being a full-blown heroin addict, living with a 28-year-old man, trying to go to school, in a relationship, trying to pay rent, food, electricity, all that sort of stuff that put me into a different world. So, you know, I couldn't live in both worlds. So I left school and you know, I had some pretty hard times through that period, and I battled that demon for 26 years. I did heroin.
About 4 years ago, I was introduced to ice, and I went from a functioning addict, having a full-time job, car, house, just living life normally, so to speak, to within 3.5 years, I was sitting in a jail cell with nothing, and that was someone with mental illness, pure torture, absolute pure torture. Sitting in a jail cell for 24 hours a day for the first week, because you had to quarantine for COVID, with another person, just with your own head and the demons in your head, and just doing head miles after head miles, and it was pure torture.
Here at the Glen now, I'm literally, you know what I mean, dealing with my traumas, which that's something I never have done. I've always just kind of swept it underneath the rug. And, you know, while I'm walking out of there happy, I'm walking out of there with a smile on my face, knowing that I've actually done that. I've actually said something today. Last week I didn't cry for the first time. You know, like right now saying all this stuff, half of this stuff that I'm saying right now is basically I haven't shared with anybody. So if this can, you know what I mean, kind of help somebody and help somebody else in their recovery and put a smile on their dial, you know what I mean, to make them happy and get through life, then I'm here for, and I'm all for it.
We do Aboriginal culture here, like we do dance, and since I got involved in the dancing, it's one thing to know that you're Aboriginal, but it's another to actually feel connected to that, and that's what the dance does for me. Like getting involved in dance helps me be connected to my culture and my ancestors, and it's just, I've made so much changes just since being here. Like we go to the football, we went on a tribal cruise, like we go out on country, look at artwork, and yeah, it loves us back to life, it does. Like now I've been here for 17 weeks, I'm in the transition stage now, I've been in transition for the last 5 weeks. I've got a job, which I've never had a job.
I can't speak highly enough of this place as a rehab, but as a place that somebody would want to come and heal and try and just understand yourself and know your worth, because you're worth it and your life is worth it, and somebody always cares. And I have my life today because of amazing people and an amazing opportunity here, and because, you know, I deserve it, and you do too, and you know, everybody that comes through these gates deserve it. My children deserve to have the best version of me, and that's what they're going to get. You know, they're going to be able to share my journey with me, you know, and through the good times. And I'm sure there's going to be some struggles because they're 17, 1 and 2. So I'm sure there's going to be some amazing moments, you know, but I'm here for it now, thanks to, you know, a program like this and this space and this place, you know, but mostly I'm here because I want to change my life. You know, I've been in darkness long enough, and the light is amazing and it's worth every second of it. So yeah.
Since being here at the Glen, I feel like when you come here, someone finally sees you. I wasn't a mum, I wasn't a min number, I wasn't somebody's, you know, daughter, I wasn't somebody's deceased sister, like I was me, just me, and that's really special to feel that, because I think you get, being a mum especially, you get lost along the way a little bit about who you are and whatnot, but yeah, they say that it loves you back to life, and it makes me feel like there are a lot more layers to me than my addiction, and slowly the light and the humour is starting to come back, and feeling, yeah, good. I'm about in my 10th week here. I've only got about 3 weeks to go until I can go home to my beautiful babies, and yeah.
This is accommodation. This is where we all stay. We've got our laundry in there, our toilets and our shower block in there. This is our first lounge room. There's sorry to disturb, living space. That's where we watch movies and have some of our groups and have a yarn. Then we come down the hallway. We've got a 2-door room. I keep going in the wrong doors because, you know, especially when you've got your head down on your phone. Room 7. This is Sam and Jodie's room. So, welcome. So our room's in here, we've got our beds and then our living space. This is my side of the room. Check it out, all my kids and all my memories to keep me going. My kids, my boy gave me this to bring in, my daughter, you can do it. So I was, they're fully backing me and I can't wait to be a better mum for them. Yeah, come back, awesome. And my Ruby tidied her room today just for our visitor. Not you, sorry, but my caseworker. I asked permission for me to show them in there. We've got another lounge room down the back. So they're all common areas that anyone can use. Sorry. Here's the lounge room. We have some of our therapy groups in here. Sorry. Should have knocked, sorry. Then we go outside. Beautiful sunshine, couple of lounges and all this beautiful land, dark and jungle country. So I'm learning all of that. We are trying to grow some plants, but some of us aren't good at growing these type of plants. These are my workers from Minda. They came to visit me. I'm pretty excited.